Hello students, in this lecture we are going to cover another pumping lemma for context-free languages. In previous lecture we have covered pumping lemma for the regular language and most of the rules for this lemma is also same as a regular language lemma. So please go through previous lecture first before starting with the pumping lemma for context-free languages, and we will be starting with this lecture with a brief introduction of context free language and regular language, and then we will be having question for the same. So let's start with the lecture. Here the context free language or the CFL are type 2 languages. They are type 2 languages, and as type 2 languages are subset of type 1 language as context sensitive languages, and also type 1 is subset of type 0 language, that is unrestricted language, and type 3 or regular languages are subset of type 2 language. So we can say that context free languages or the lemma for the context free language will be for type 1 and type 0 to prove that these languages are not context free, because as in the previous lecture we were taking these complete section to prove as not regular non-regular languages for pumping lemma for regular languages. But here in this section, as we are having lemma for context free language, so we will be proving that type 1 context free language, context sensitive language and unrestricted languages are not context free language with the help of this pumping lemma. Okay, as type 3 is subset of type 2, so we can consider type 3 or regular language as context free languages. So both of these languages can be covered under the same category, and these can be covered under the not or non context free languages. Okay, so here as in the last lecture we were having a raised to power n, b raised to power m. So we were taking this example where m is greater than equal to 1, and in previous lecture we have proved with the help of lemma that this language is not the regular language. Okay, we have proved with lemma that this language is not the regular language, but here we can say that this language is a context free language. Okay, so this language is not the regular language, but yes, this language is a regular language. But as the pumping lemma or any pumping lemma is a negativity test, so we will be proving we will be using these rules to prove a language as non context free language. Like here we have a language a raised to power n, b raised to power n and c raised to power n, where n is greater than equal to 1. So this language is not the context free language, or all the context free languages are recognized by the push down automata, PDAs. Okay, so this language was not regular because it cannot be recognized by DFA or NFA. Okay, we have covered this in previous lecture, but yes, this is a context free language as this can be recognized by the PDA or push down automata. Okay, and this can also be recognized by deterministic PDA. But here this language is not the context free language because this language cannot be recognized by the PDA or push down automata, but yes, we can construct Turing machine corresponding to this language or linear bounded automata corresponding to this language, but we cannot have any PDA to recognize this particular language. So we can say that this language is not context free, but we have to prove this theory with some rules or with lemma. So let's check the rules for the same. Here for any context free language L, it is possible to find out two substrings that can be pumped. By pumped we mean that can be iterated any number of times and still be in the same language. As in the pumping lemma for regular language, we were breaking the language a string or sample string of the language into three substrings as x, y and z, and we were having only one part as pumped or to be pumped as y. Okay, so this was the substring that we were iterating n number of time, and if the string still remain in the language or still belong to the language, then the language is regular, otherwise not. But here, as we are having lemma for the context free language, then we were having, so we will be having two substrings or two such iterating substring that can be pumped or can be iterated any number of time, and the resulting string must be in the language. Okay, otherwise the language is not context free language. So for this we will be dividing the string into 5 parts. Unlike regular language lemma where we were breaking the string into 3 sections, here we will be dividing the string into 5 section, and the second and the fourth substring, or the 5 and 5th second and the fourth section of the substring can be pumped in number of time, and if the resulting string is still in the language, the language is context free, otherwise not the context free. So basically it is a negativity test and used to prove a language as not a context free language. So here the rules can be defined as, if a language is a context free language, then there exists an integer n. So as we were having integer n, as in the previous lecture, in the previous example we were having this a raised to power n, b raised to power n is greater than equal to 1. Sorry, we were taking m here just to avoid the confusion. So m is greater than equal to 1. So this was the language that we have covered in the previous lecture. And n, if we are taking DFA, so then n is the minimum required string to be accepted, length of the minimum required string to be accepted plus 1. So here we were taking n as 3 because the minimum acceptable string for this particular language is AB. So n will be 3, means length of minimum string is 2. So n will be length of minimum string plus 1. So we were taking 2 plus 1 as 3 for this n. Okay, so this integer n means the sample string that we are taking for this lemma test. Okay, for this lemma check must be having the length greater than equal to n, and this n is the minimum required string to be accepted, length of minimum required string to be accepted plus 1. Okay, so this is simple. N for any language that we are taking, means sample string that we are taking is length of minimum string, minimum acceptable string plus 1. Okay, so this n is taken like this, and the sample string that we are taking must be having length greater than equal to n. Okay, so if the condition is satisfied, means if we have any such string with length greater than equal to n, then we can break the string into 5 substrings as u, v, x, y and z, and the y and the v part are the iterative parts here, means we can pump y and v part, or the second and the fourth part can be iterated any number of times. So these 3 conditions must be checked, means the centermost part or v, x, y must have length less than equal to n, and the iterative part v and y must have length greater than equal to 1, and the iterative part as v and y are the second and fourth part are the iterative part here, can be iterated any number of time, and the resulting string must belong to the language, otherwise the language is not context free language. So let's check with an example, and these rules can be represented easily with a diagram as this. So for this we are taking a start symbol of the grammar. So as we are having a grammar rule defined, so from S we are moving to another non-terminal A, and from A we can move to another non-terminal, or we can repeat the same non-terminal A. So from S here we are moving to A, from A we are iterating the same rule A, and we are having the same and same string to be generated, means every time I am iterating a here or repeating the a, the resulting string must belong to the language, otherwise the language is not context free language. So here we have taken this scenario, means this diagram is representing the grammar's production rule. From S non-terminal we are moving to A, from A we are moving to A, means we are iterating A any number of time and the resulting string must belong to the language. So here U and Z part are the optional part, means U and Z part can be null for the sample string, and V and Y part are must, means length of V and Y cannot be less than equal to 1. So we must have some iterative part here. Okay, so either V or or Y can be null, both cannot be null. We must have some substring for iteration. So either V or either Y can be null, but both substring cannot be null. So here we are having A non-terminal that is iterating V and Y. Again V and Y are iterating here, and ultimately we are replacing A with X. Okay, so we are replacing A or terminating A with X substring, and A is iterating V and Y. So here V and Y is iterated, V and Y is again iterated, means A is iterating V and Y part, and after all the iterations are done we are replacing or terminating A with X part, and the resulting string, all the iterated strings must belong to the language if the language is context free, otherwise the language is not context free. So let's check this scenario with an example. So for example, firstly we are proving the lemma for a context free language, but as the lemma is a negativity test, so we will be checking for the context sensitive language after this. So proving the lemma for positive test first, then we will be taking the negative test for the context sensitive language. So language is, here we are taking a context free language as a raised to power n, b raised to power n, and any string can be result of the pumping at two places. So for this language we need two places or strings at two places or substring at two places to be iterated, one for A and one for B. So here the corresponding grammar must be this. From start symbol we are moving to A, and we are working in this scenario, in this pattern. So from start symbol we are moving to A, from A we are moving to A only and iterating the A and B, A on the left side and B on the right side. So after number of iterations, after any iteration the resulting string still be in the language. So let's take a sample string, as AB is or the minimum string to be accepted is 2 here, so the value of n must be 3. Okay, so all the sample string that we take here must be greater than equal to 3, and we will be dividing the string into 3 parts, U, V, X, Y and Z. Out of this U and Z part can be null, but these 3 sections are required, means with these 3 substrings are required, and out of them V and Y are the iterative part, and length of these part must be greater than equal to 1, means either we cannot have both part as null for the same string, so we have to choose the string accordingly. Now we are taking the sample string as this triple A and triple B that belong to the language initially. Let's check whether this string is fulfilling all the criterias or not. So let's divide the string into 5 substrings, as this is U, so this is U, and again this is V, this is X, Y and Z. Okay, so we have this as the iterative part and this as the iterative part. U and V and X are not the iterative part, but V and Y are the iterative part. So this is the division of the string or the partition of the string into different substrings. Now we have to check for the iterative condition. Although first 2 conditions are already met, means length of U, V and X, length of v, x and y is less than equal to n. Here n is 3. As we have minimum string as length 2, we will be having n as 3 here. This n is not this n, means you should not mix this n with this n, because this n is specified in the rule as integer n. Okay, so now second rule, this was the first condition, and the second condition is length of iterative part must be greater than equal to 1. Yes, this condition is also satisfied, as we are having v as a and y as b. So the length is 2, that is greater than equal to 1. So let's check for the third condition, means if we iterate the v and y part any number of time and the resulting string must belong to the language. So we can iterate v and y part any number of time, so the resulting string must belong to the language. As we have already checked for these two conditions, now we have to check for the third condition, as whether the iterative part can be iterated any number of time and the string still belong to the language or not. So if the condition is satisfied, then the language is context free, otherwise the language is not context free. So as a sample string we are taking here is AAA and the iterative part here is a. So this is our iterative part v and this is our iterative part y, and this is our final termination of a, means a will be terminated with this x value, and this is our u and this is our v. So now we have to iterate this string any number of time and check that the new string or the resulting string belong to the language or not. So here we are having this scenario like this, means from S we are moving to A, and from A we are having this iteration of A and B, means we are iterating A's and B's, again we are iterating A and B and repeating this, and in last we are substituting A with this x, A and B. Okay, so this is the tree, that is, or the parse tree forming for this particular string from this grammar for this context free language. So let's check for the iteration, whether the string if we iterate v and y part for more than 3 times, more than 5 times, whether the string belong to language or not. So let's check for this condition here, as AAA and BB. So we will be iterating this and this part only. Okay, so after one iteration the string is same, means we are getting w as a raised to power 3 and b raised to power 3, that is a string of language. Okay, now for I equals to 2, we will be having 2 iteration of this part and 2 iteration of this part. Still the string is forming this pattern, a 4 a's and 4 b, and the still string b in the language. And in this way, if we iterate the a and b part or v and y part any number of time, the resulting string, suppose I am iterating it 10 times, still the w is forming a raised to power 11 and b raised to power a raised to power 12 and b raised to power 12, and still the string is belonging to the language. So this language is a context free language, as all the conditions are satisfied and all the iterations are resulting into the string of language that belong to the language. So we can say that this language is the context free language only. Let's check, as the pumping lemma is a negative test, so let's check this lemma to prove any context sensitive language to be a non-context free language. Okay, so let's check with this language. Here we are having this context sensitive language as a raised to power n, b raised to power n, c raised to power n, and we have to prove that this language is not the context free language, as this is a context sensitive language. This cannot be recognized by push down automata. So we are taking the sample string as AA, BB and CC. So here the value of n, that integer that we need, the sample string length must be greater than n, is 4, as the minimum required string is 3, so the n value of n, the sample string must have length greater than equal to 4. Okay, so here we are taking this string as a sample string double A, double B and double C. So let's divide the string into 3 sections as the 5 substring, as U is this, V is this, X part is this, Y and Z part is this. So you can have any other partitioning of substrings of your choice. Now the V and the Y part are the iterative part for this sample string, as we are taking these part as a iterative part. And the conditions, first condition is V, the length of V, X and Y must be greater than equal, must be less than equal to 4, and the condition is satisfied. Next, the second condition is length of iterative part, that is V and Y must be greater than equal to 1. This condition is also satisfied. Now we only have to check for the third condition, that is any number of iteration of V part and Y part must lead to the resulting string to the language. So here we have iterative part as V and Y, and if we iterate these parts any number of time, the resulting string must belong to the language. If condition is satisfied, then we can say that this is a context free language. Otherwise we can conclude that this language is not the context free language. So let's check, as both of both of these conditions are satisfied, first and second. Now we have to check for the third condition. So let's try to iterate it for different value of I. So here, if I equal to 1 and the sample string is this, so V and Y part are iterated only one time, and the string is this, and this string is belonging to the language. But on the basis of this value or this check, we cannot conclude that this language is context free. So we have to check for another value of I as well. Now for I equal to 2, the sample string is now this A, triple A, double B and triple C, because we have iterated only A part and the C part. So the resulting string is now forming A cube, B square and C cube, and this string does not belong to the language. So we can conclude that this language is not the context free language. So in this way you can prove for any context sensitive language or any of the type 0 language, that is unrestricted language, by taking a sample string and breaking it into 5 substring and checking for all these 3 conditions and proving that for this particular I or for this particular value of I, the string is not belonging to the language, so the language is not context free. So you have to perform this operation for any string on any language that is not context free, and you can take any sample string and you can have any partitioning. For all partitioning your result will be same. So in next lecture we will be working with the Turing machine and what are the tuples of Turing machine, how we can construct Turing machine and various examples of Turing machine. So till then, bye and take care.